citizens on Unity National Building as Muslim mark Eid Fitr celebration. Federal government replies Atiku promises to provide cost of Lagos-Calabar coastal highway. World Bank says Nigeria's 2024 inflation rate will drop to 24.8%. Parent of Michigan school shooter sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. And on sports, Super Falcons qualify for Olympics first time in 16 years. Hello and welcome to Liberty News. I am Jamima Shagaya. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has appealed to all Nigerians to come together and rededicate themselves to the task of building the nation desired by all. President Tinubu made the appeal in his Eid Fitr message to Nigerians, stating, "We are the sculptor and Nigeria is the clay. We build it the way we desire." According to a statement yesterday by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajurin Gonlale, the president also facilitated the Muslim Ummah at Eid Fitr, praying that the sacrifices during the month of Ramadan and afterwards will receive the fitting reward. Tinubu described the period as an occasion that signifies the end of Ramadan, a hallowed season which reflects total submission to God Almighty and to his command of sacrifice and service to mankind. The president prayed for the blessings and the joy of the season abide with us always, while wishing Nigerians. Moving on, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu was enjoined Muslims across the country to exercise moderation and not discard the lessons of Ramadan on the altar of celebration. Her senior special assistant on media, Busola Koyoyi, conveyed the Eid message in a statement on Wednesday titled HE Senator Oluremi Tinubu Facilitates Muslim. Kuyoye noted that the First Lady rejoiced with Muslims in Nigeria on the completion of the holy month of Ramadan. She also enjoyed Muslims to sustain the good deeds exhibited during the month, asserting that Ramadan is a period of reformation and the teachings of how to live a selfless and godly life. The First Lady, the lessons learned during the 1 month of fasting should not be eroded on the altar of celebration. Moving on, the Federal Government Executive Council FEC facilitates with the Muslim faithful on the successful completion of the 2024 Ramadan fast. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, CON, on behalf of FEC, urged the Muslim faithfuls to continue to reflect on the lessons of the fast, which includes love, sacrifice, endurance, obedience, and compassion. George Akume urged Nigerians to be optimistic in the support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and to continue to promote national unity, peaceful coexistence for stability, development, and growth for the nation. FEC wishes Nigerians a happy Eid Fitr. As the blessed month of Ramadan draws to close, Muslims around the world prepare to observe Zakat al-Fitr, a form of charity given to the less fortunate before the Eid Fitr celebrations. The obligatory act of giving holds immensely significance in Islam, symbolizes purification and gratitude for the blessing received throughout the month of fasting. Liberty News correspondent Abubakar Sadiq Daladima completes the story.
Zakat al-Fitr serve as means to purify one's wealth and provide assistance to those in need, ensuring that everyone can partake in the joyous festivities of Eid. Renowned Islamic scholar Ahmad Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi explained that this obligatory contribution must be given before Eid prayer, making the conclusion of the holy month of Ramadan. According to him, by fulfilling this act of charity out of love for Allah, believers demonstrate their devotion and generosity towards those in need.
Zakat, which is given out on the day of the Eid celebrations. The wisdom behind it is that there should not be any Muslim a day of celebration, day of happiness, should be asking or begging people for food. That is the wisdom behind it. But this particular Zakat al-Fitr is meant specifically for that day of Eid, that nobody should be hungry. nobody should be asking, nobody should be begging, because it's a day of happiness, and we don't expect a day of happiness for some people to be staying there the whole day without food.
He also elaborated the guidelines and calculations involved in giving out Zakatul Fitr, providing clarity on the process and ensuring that the charitable donation is distributed in accordance with the Islamic principles.
Okay, it's very easy. You have a man of medium height who will have a handful of the staple food of the region. Give out 4 of the handful of it, which is called the sa'. For every soul.
In his address, Malam Aminu Abdullahi Yusuf emphasized that Zakatul Fitr should be directed solely to those who are in need, underscoring the importance of ensuring that the charitable donation reach its intended recipients.
So if we remove it, we are going to give the needy, those who are not have the food to eat, that the miskin, masakin. So those categories of whom are collecting this type of zakat. Zakatul Fitr is only for the miskin.
As families come together to offer their contributions, the spirit of generosity and solidarity permeates communities, reinforcing the values of empathy and support for less fortunate. Through the collective observance of Zakatul Fitr, Muslims reaffirm their commitment to social justice and caring for those in need. The donation typically consists of staple food items such as grains, dates, or money equivalent to their values, and is distributed to the deserving recipient in the community. Abubakar Sadiq Galadima, Liberty News. Zakatul.
However, as the walk marks the 2024 Eid-ul-Fitr celebration, Muslims across the globe have been advised to imbibe the lessons learned during the Ramadan period in their daily activities. The chief of Jahi community in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, Amak FCT, gave the advice shortly after the Eid prayers. Liberty News correspondent Phoebe Kure has details.
We thank Almighty Allah for the success of the Ramadan fast. I call on all Nigerians to join hands and live together as one in love and unity. I called on the government to eliminate the hardship, plight of the poor ones.
Muna murna da inda muka aka yi sallah idi har an soka lafiya, an gama lafiya. Ba inda zamu iya ce nan jayi mu hada kanmu, Nigeria mu hada kanmu, Abuja mu hada kanmu. In ba samu aka yi hadan kai ba, to Nigeria fa akwai aiki. Duk tarakawa wannan azumin da an yi ba wanda bai sha wahala ba.
Let's continue to live together in love, peace and unity, despite diverse religious and ethnic differences.
Juna da hakuri a nan jayi. Kada mu kuskura mu rabu, kada mu kuskura mu ce ba mu kula da juna ba. In ba mu kula da juna ba, to ba za a samu zaman lafiya ba. Kafin ka je ka share waje, sai ka share cikin gida.
He further advised Nigerians to love one another, noting the need for peaceful coexistence among people of diverse ethnic and religious backgrounds. He stressed the need for all Nigerians to be grateful at all times, despite the economic hardship ravaging the land. Phoebe Kure in Abuja, Liberty News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has reiterated the commitment of President Bola Tinubu towards boosting Nigerians' infrastructural need. Speaking at his residence in Maiduguri, Borno State, where he hosted members of the Borno Forum, members of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and other stakeholders, the Vice President said the President has his eyes on the basic needs and requirements of the nation. He called on for continued support for the Tinubu administration by all Nigerians, as he assured that government's policies will be immensely beneficial to all and sundry in no distant time. On the challenge of power supply in Maiduguri and some parts of Borno, Senator Shettima noted that the situation has caught the President's attention and that a directive has been issued by President Tinubu for the situation to be immediately addressed. The grand unveiling of Progressive magazine has captivated the nation, promising a fresh perspective on issues impacting the youth and the progressive movement. The event took place in Abuja, has in attendance different dignitaries from all over Nigeria. Liberty News correspondent completes the report.
The grand unveiling of the Progressives magazine took place on Monday in Abuja at the Youth Campaign House. Attendees gathered at the venue in eager anticipation of witnessing the debut of this highly anticipated publication. The editor of the magazine, Idris Jibril, delivered a stirring address highlighting the vision and mission behind this groundbreaking publication.
We came up with this initiative just to add value to what the APC family is doing. We don't really need an appointment to tell your story. You can tell your story without the appointment. And this is a call to action for all of us. A lot of opportunities are bound where we need to think deep. To have deeper roots, you must go deeper. So we need to think deep to come up with initiative that will sell the party or sell the government.
The Minister of State for Youth, Ayodele Olowande, also took the stage, emphasizing the importance of empowering young people through similar platforms.
Fine, we find ourselves in the midst of some funny things, but I'm very sure that we'll get over it. If you like to show, show. If you like to put biz. If you want to double it, show biz, do show biz, just for the success of this administration.
The mandate secretary also reiterated the party's commitment to supporting initiatives that promote youth engagement and empowerment. Additionally, an award ceremony honored the deserving recipients for their contributions to the progressive movement.
Don't take this work lightly, because you are documenting, archiving, and promoting the renewed hope agenda. And this, we have to push it to the nooks and crannies.
I got the message that I am being shortlisted as part of the 100 most influential progressives. That is those who have contributed immensely to the emergence of our president and the establishment of this government in 2023. In the whole country, selecting 100 and I'm being part of it, I think is an honor, is a privilege.
The event was a resounding success, with attendees expressing excitement and enthusiasm for the future of Progressives magazine and its potential to inspire and inform the nation's youth. In Abuja, Selma Ibrahim, Liberty News.
The federal government has promised to disclose to the public the total cost and breakdown of the ongoing Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, said this in a statement signed by the Special Advisor on Media, Oji Uchenna, in Abuja. Umahi also explained that despite the soaring cost of materials in the construction industry due to commodity price inflation and supply chain disruption, the ministry is committed to prudent cost effectiveness, promptness, and quality delivery of road projects remained unmatched. The minister's assurance comes against the backdrop of serious contentions in recent days over the cost and bidding process of the 700 kilometers coastal highway project. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the last election, Atiku Abubakar, has earlier on Tuesday asked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to disclose the full cost of the Lagos-Calabar highway project. Reacting, Umahi said Atiku Abubakar doesn't understand figures. I am going to run figures for him to understand, and he will understand how prudent the administration of President Tinubu has been. You can also watch us live on our social media platform on YouTube, Liberty TV, on Facebook, Liberty TV News, on Twitter, Liberty TV News, on Instagram, Liberty TV News. Still to come, World Bank says Nigerian 2024 inflation rate will drop to 24.8%. Parent of Michigan school shooter sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. Super Falcons qualifier for Olympics, first time in 16 years. Stand by for this and more after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still on to Liberty News. Moving on to business, the World Bank on Monday says Nigeria's inflation rate would drop to 24.8% year-on-year in 2024. The development comes after the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) pegged the current rate at 31.7% in February from 29.9% recorded in January. The normalization of global supply chain, steady declines of commodity price, and impacts of monetary tightening and fiscal consolidation are contributing to a low rate of inflation in the region. The report also reaffirmed its project of 3.3% economic growth from the country in 2024 and reduced its project from 2025 to 2026 by 0.1% points to 3.6% from its January projection of 3.7%. According to World Bank, full inflation and the weakening of domestic currencies are still major drivers of inflation cost countries in the sub-Saharan African region. It added by February 2024, about one-third of the sub-Saharan African countries with monthly available food price information, 14 of 40 countries have double-digit year-on-year rate of food inflation, with the fastest increase experienced in Ethiopia, Malawi, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Zimbabwe. Now moving on to the international scene, the parent of a teenager who carried out a deadly school shooting in U.S. state of Michigan was sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison on Tuesday in an unprecedented and closely watched case. Jennifer Kimbley, 46, and her husband, James, 47, were the first parents of a school shooter convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the United States for the action of their child. Auckland Country Recruit Court Judge Cheryl Matthews sentenced them to 10 and 15 in prison, each with credits for the 28 months they had already spent behind bars. Their son Ethan, who is now 17, is serving a life sentence for November 30th, 2021 shooting, which led 4 students dead and 7 others injured at Oxford High School, 45 miles north of Detroit. During separate trials, the Kimbleys were accused of ignoring warning signs that their son had mental health struggles. Amidst a huge number of deadly firearms incident involving young people in the United States, pressure has been mounted to punish parents who make it possible for their children to get weapons. Still on the international scene, South African police has said they have arrested 6 suspects for the mother of footballer Lucas Fleur, who played for popular Johannesburg Kaizer Chiefs. The 24-year-old defender was gunned down last week as he refueled his car at a gas station in a northwest suburb of the city in the latest incident to shock the crime-ridden nation. Authorities have said Fleur was waiting to be served at a petrol station in the Volkswagen Golf 8 GTI when he was confronted by 2 men who ordered him out of the vehicle at gunpoint. Investigators believe the suspects are part of a crime syndicate responsible for other car hijackings in Johannesburg Gator province. South Africans suffer from a soaring violent crime rate, key political issues ahead of general elections in May, with opposition parties pointing to the government's perceived failure. The country recorded almost 84 murders a day between October and December, according to official figures. Now, moving on to sports, Super Falcons have qualified for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Nigeria beat South Africa 1-0 on aggregate to reach the Summer Olympics. Rasheedat Ajibade scored from the spot in the first leg of the qualifiers in Abuja. That goal was enough for the Super Falcons to pick one of Africa's tickets for the women's football event of the Paris Olympics, as the second leg tie ended goalless in South Africa. The last time Nigerian Super Falcons reached the Olympics was 16 years ago. Both teams have played several times since their 7-1 win against South Africa in a 1999 World Cup qualifier in Johannesburg. They have met 24 times, with Nigeria winning 15, 5 ended in draw, and South Africa claimed victory 4 times. To end the news, here is a recap of our stories. President Tinubu tasked citizens on unity, nation building as Muslims mark Eid Fitr celebration. Federal government replies Atiku promised to provide cost of Lagos-Ibadan coastal highway. World Bank says Nigeria's 2024 inflation rate would drop to 24.8%. Parents of Michigan school shooter sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. And on sports, Super Falcons qualifiers for Olympics, first time in 16 years. The news team wishes you a pleasant time as we leave you with this Liberty quote by Zig Ziglar, who once said, "You can have everything in life if you want, if you will help others get what they want." Thanks for watching. I am Janima Shagaya. Bye.